What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, closet swing traders? Hope you guys doing absolutely fantastic. Hope you guys are ready. We only got 2 more days left of the week. So again, short week today, short week. Low volatility, I think, for pretty much, I think today, tomorrow, I don't think we get too much volatility coming in. But interesting day so far in the SPY, at least how we're set up, but more than interesting. We got Alan House, good morning to you. We got Albert, Bill, Brian, Cindy, Corey. Good morning to Jason, Jay, Jeff. Good morning. We got Joe. Good morning, JT, Lenandro, Lauren, Lucian in the house. Good morning, Marius, Matthew, Miguel, Micus, Paul. Paul's AI is in the house. We got Paul AI. Love it. All my people out in YouTube land. Good morning. We got No Till, Santilla, Honey Royal. My people in the background of YouTube. That's okay. Just hit that like and subscribe button. Whew. Let's see. Let's see. So we got an interesting day yesterday. Let's take a look at that day that we had yesterday. So for the most part, and again, I'm not expecting this week to really have that much volatility. I was actually thinking about this too. I don't know how much volatility we get in April besides maybe a couple select days. Because we have a weird holiday schedule. So we have Easter, I think, this weekend. You got Monday where people kind of coming back from that holiday. Then you got Passover starting. So typically, I normally you have Easter Passover around the same time, and then during that kind of week, that time frame, it's slow. We'll see how it plays out. So this will be an interesting look. But pre-market, nice little gap up yesterday. We have a little bit of a just consolidation, which again we've seen for most of the day, and then until the very end of the day, we gave the whole thing up. We gave it up and we just started to just get wrecked. And then we come into today where we're just opening pretty much toward the highs of yesterday. Not the pre-market high. So we still got one more level up here that would take us to 522.01. Maybe we get to 522.14. So that was the at least developing VPOC from yesterday. Today is going to create a little bit of a gap and go though. So still technically inside yesterday's candle. But very weak close that we just kind of sold off on. I think we drew this before. Let's do it again though. Let's try to draw this 618 retracement because this was a little bit too high. This was a 38% retracement. But let's see. Yeah, we still have not hit that 50% yet. No, so I'm not there yet. I have 517.66. I thought maybe we got a little bit closer. But again, pretty bearish day once we got the final breakdown of everything. So we'll see. We'll see. Otherwise today is a gap and go. We still are almost in the same situation we were yesterday based on how we're opening. We should have support somewhere around 521.05. One level lower than that, we should get again support 520.52. And then we're looking at 521.75 as some type of resistance on the SPY. If we could get a break there, then maybe we could have a good push to 523.35. But again, SPY isn't pricing in that big of a move for this week. So far, that's been pretty accurate, and we haven't really. Let's go back to SPY weekly candle just to take a look real quick at that. The weekly candle is a very small little doji-ish. Regardless, we got a small little candle. Still in the upper range of the breakout week we had from last week, and we are with this gap opening above the close of last week. So we still have this little bit of a wick to go. But I would say, yeah, I gotta stay bullish. There's nothing that's telling me to not be bullish yet. And again, kind of expecting some of those moving averages to catch up. More positivity down the line, at least for now, unless we get some kind of black swan or something crazy. Qs, we are slightly above, again, gap and go, so it's there. We do have support at 445.41. That's the one I want to see hold today. We have a key support somewhere right around 445.97. That's going to come from this little peak here. So, Again, not a great close yesterday getting underneath it, but we are right back above that support. And we still got targets to the higher side, 448.20 before we really see some kind of resistance. Ethereum just ripped. Didn't even have time to move your target. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, crypto was slightly down today, but yeah, now it's starting to pop back up. Again, Ethereum, you do have resistance probably somewhere around 36.56.20. So that would be my target for now. But everything looks decent. This looks like some kind of little S curve esque. I'm just straight making up words today. I've just realized S curve esque right here. But we are back above all moving averages, all lined up perfectly. So if we could get a break of here, which I think is doable, I don't know during stock market hours or we have to wait till later, but if we get break out of this 36.56, that would take us to the next stop of like 37.28 and then probably back to this 38.92. So it's got some room on it. But I don't mind I don't mind this little reversal, 2-bar reversal, pullback, retrace. You got the break. This bottom of this candle was a retest into there. So we got one more thing to continue that bull trade on that. MRK, Bitcoin pop too. Let's check that out too, since we're on it. And then we'll go right to coin, and then we'll get into Mark. Bitcoin still has a few levels up here. So first level that we got to break through 71,620. The one after that comes into 72,385, and then the bigger one that we got to break through is 73,000, so 7340. But again, I mean, this kind of looks a little bit like the Ethereum we just looked at. So there was your 2-bar reversal, retrace. We started to make a move. This one just hasn't really retested. That's the only thing going against Bitcoin right now. Other than that, that looks like a strong little S curve, albeit kind of high. Coinbase. Let's see what we're doing in the last couple minutes since we just started to pop. We got all those moving averages still lower than the 200, but they are creeping up. You do have a couple candles now on a 5 minute. So you got a small red one, but 1, 2, 3, 4 red candles in a row. Probably pull back into like 272.15 might be a decent spot to try to play it if we can get some kind of a crypto move. Merc. Uh, Wells Fargo raises price target, so they had a price target hike. Mark isn't supposed to move this much. That's my biggest concern. Where was that price target at? 135. So they're moving it to 135 from 130. We're about $4 into their price target. This is a big move. Like Mark isn't supposed to move this much. So I think this move is a little bit overdone. It's not like it's a super sexy AI type play. They got a new drug approval too. Let's see what this drug does. I know Moderna has 3 drugs, I think, in the pipeline. So they're not approved yet. Merck, no, Kimberly Clark. Let's see. Let's see. Did they also get a I hate this. I hate this feed. It just tells me what stocks are doing. Thanks, guy. Appreciate it. I don't see anything about a drug approval unless I'm just missing it. More news. Only thing I'm really seeing so far is the price upgrade. MRK drug is Plomer. That's something in the lungs, I think, right? Hypertension. Yeah, I think it's a very um in common disease, but I think you get approval on a drug. I think it's like 40,000 people get affected by it, something like that. Yeah, arterial hypertension drug. Okay, and then mRNA. So again, I don't know. I it's tough for me to go long on Merck. I think it's probably a little hyped up. It's not Ozempic. It's not Ozempic, but it can save some lives, which is good. Which is good. Just you're dealing with a smaller marketplace in terms of that drug, though. Moderna. So this one does have three drugs in the pipeline getting approved, and this one also has a decent little gap to it. The drugs are only in stage three though, so they're not actually approved. So just be careful in that. Obviously, stage three, and then it takes some time. The one big thing with this one, the only drug they have, and this is where I think this news comes in. Just on a technical basis, first of all, you have a double bottom, you got some higher lows, you were above the 200, waiting for some of those moving averages to catch up. And obviously, we've run up like crazy during COVID. Their only drug right now is the COVID shots. That's it. So obviously, COVID shots are on the decline, and they got to do something to sturdy up the core business. And then obviously, they still got the boosters, boosters on boosters on boosters. Uh, but that's their big. That's their drug, right? I do like the fact that we're introducing other vaccines. I don't know how great or widespread some of those vaccines are going to be used for, but the fact that they have multiple things now in the pipeline that does or should give them a solid base. You have a pretty nice inverted head and shoulders actually on the daily as well. Neckline on this one. Let's draw this neckline out real quick. Not sure exactly where I want to throw this thing. Probably here. So as of right now, we're still kind of below that neckline, but that looks decent. Looks decent if we can get above it. But that is big news for them as well. There was a couple I missed. We got Hood and we got GME. Hood has a credit card out. I believe that was their news that they are releasing a credit card, and I think they had one more product out there too. Shares trading higher Wednesday after the company announced its new credit card, the Robinhood Gold Card. And they had their first ever keynotes event. Our baby's growing up. It's the first ever. It's like first steps. Robinhood held its first ever Robinhood Presents. I think we got to work on that name a little bit. Robinhood Presents. But presents what? What are you going to present? Featuring Arnold Schwarzenegger. Event focused on a new gold standard. Okay. All right. This is a hyped up event. But they do got a good credit card out there. Robinhood new credit card offers 3% cash back on order categories with no annual fees, no foreign transaction fees. I'm not even telling you guys news. I'm just advertising for them that they're paid sponsor. Card users can also earn 5% back on travel purchased through the new Robinhood travel portal. Yada yada yada. But yep, so new credit card. Which again, more access, more cash for them. And once you have more cash, you're able to reloan it. You're able to grow your business a little bit. So that's good. But nice move on this one. Do we have any major resistance ahead of this? Maybe into this 2163. I think actually on Robinhood last night it was trading a little bit higher, trading closer. Actually, it was probably closer to this 2163. So it's off the highs at least from the Robinhood 24-hour markets. So take that for what it is. Other than that, it's still good news for them. You still have this pretty good momentum in terms of volume zones. I mean, there's nothing. Let's go to the weekly. I don't even know if there's enough data for the weekly lines on the side. No, there's not. The weekly lines. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks in a row bullish. We do have that 2163 right ahead of us. So I think some of this probably fades. Let's see if there's still a good short squeeze on this one. I'm looking for some reason to make a case that we could go bullish on this thing. But with the run up that we've just had, it's probably doable on the pullbacks, but just at open at least. Yeah, 7% short float, 7.34. Not horrible. Uh Merck receives drug approval. 3 stellar trials. How do I get this thing off? Oh, there we go. Okay. Combined capacity to reduce risk death according to the company. Yeah, I don't even know how to say that. Winrevair is the first FDA approved activin signaling inhibitor therapy for pneumonia. Yeah. Just the only thing, I mean, obviously, anytime you have good a drug out there. And I think it is the only one of its kind. It's not like they're just mimicking other people, but the marketplace for that disease is small. Um, and again, the move is already big. That's the biggest thing on MRK for me. Same thing with Hood. There's a lot of people probably profitable in this one. I don't want to be the first one to buy, but I wouldn't mind going long at some point on Robinhood. Same thing with MRK. If they do drop, they do pull back a little. I don't mind trying to get in there long. GameStop, I don't want to get in long. Yep, GameStop did report. Essentially their revenue was down year over year, and I think that kind of killed them. But today, at least, maybe closer to the $12 mark, and I think it got there pre-market. I think it got to like 11 and change. I got right to that $12 mark, so 12.04ish, $12. If you want to take a stab at GameStop, and this is not financial advice in any stretch of the imagination, not financial advice, but where we took off before, uh, on this move, I think we're sitting somewhere closer to this $12 mark. No, we were not even there. Did they do a stock split or anything? I don't see one. $12 mark. According to this, they're saying we got down to like 96 cents, a dollar. We're off the highs. This is where it was. Yeah, right before that big breakout. We were right around 10, 10, 11, $12 in this range. So like if you do like GameStop, it just as a financial investment for me, no, it's tough. They must have did a they must have did a stock split. Reverse stock split. They did something because GameStop was definitely much higher than 121. I don't see it on the charts. Maybe I gotta go to the daily. Ah, there it is. Yeah, it's gotta be like a 10 to 1 or something. 4 to 1, 4 to 1 stock split. That's what they did. Yep. I was gonna say I'm pretty sure I lived through this time where they reached crazy heights. But yeah, the valuation there was around 12. So now maybe with that stock split, I don't know. Maybe you have to wait longer. But I had that $12 mark. Like if it gets back there, it's probably not a bad spot to try. But I don't know. I'd wait. Either way, bad gap down today off the earnings. Nothing really solid in that. And again, you're gonna have to try to find your way on this one. Or not you, them. They have to try to figure out where they're gonna make their revenue from. Keep in mind, I think one thing that is killing them is the digital portion of things. So games that are purchased like on an actual disc, you can now resell it back to GameStop. They could resell it over and over. That was a lot of their business. And I'm just talking, I'm only talking in terms of fundamentals, and I'm not talking like the hype on GameStop and the squeezes and the craziness. That's all outside of the business. That could happen again at any point. I don't think we're at that 151% where we probably ever see a squeeze like that again. Let's see if I can. Uh, let's see what their short float is currently. Let's see if they have a chance at one of those squeezes again. Yeah, short float is 22%. I think some hedge funds probably learned their lessons on this one. So yeah, I don't know. For me, it's a no touch. Not going into the long term. If it wants to make a crazy squeeze ever again, fine. But previously, the short float on it was like 151 before that big major squeeze. And now we're just getting back into the actual business part of it. And I don't know. They got a couple avenues they gotta struggle with, I think. But uh more than likely it's got some weakness on it. Probably remains short. I think some of that 7% short float is gonna work in the short's favor today. And it probably continues a little bit lower. Tesla already left. Yes, right before I jumped on, I saw Tesla starting to move. Again, I do still think we got some room in this one, so I wouldn't mind trying it bullish. We had a good day for a while on Tesla. And Tesla's candle yesterday was technically a retest. We didn't quite get back down to maybe this 173.85. I was trying on Tesla right out of the open, and I just couldn't get the order sent out quick enough and put it into Slack and everywhere else. So I wasn't able to play it long, but for the most part, it did hold up fairly well. I think they had some more news on them today too, where yeah, Tesla's maintaining by overweight from Morgan Stanley. So they still have a 320 price target on it. Take it for what it is. But that's still good news. They do need some good news to start coming in on Tesla because the news cycle has been pretty negative. We do have higher lows at this point. So again, if you like Tesla, if you agree somewhat with Morgan Stanley, that's about 100% gain from here, almost 100% gain for their price targets. So not bad. But for a day trade, I still think this 189.22 would be my target. We've already got into this one from yesterday, so that's 183.93. The next little spot we could get held up at is 186.22. Otherwise, if we could break that, then yeah, this 189.22 would be my target. So what I would like to see on this one is, since it is inside day, get as close as possible to this 179.17, get me some kind of pullback at open. And then I would be interesting to see if I could find a candle, some kind of setup where I could probably try to get into this one long, but I do like Tesla long today as well. Look for that continuation. And most of Tesla's uh I guess drop on that candle was with the rest of the market into the end of the day too. So I do think the overall market condition right at the end of the day when we just straight sold probably had a lot to do with it. DraftKings. I don't want to look at DraftKings. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't want to look at DraftKings. They're doing way better than I want them to, which is they're good. Like I want them to do good. Miguel says Rock is here today. Please don't. Yeah, Rock, you just earmuffs yourself for this part. Earmuffs. Um, we're pretty far extended from some of those moving averages. It does have to calm down. The only reason I don't like it is because I do have cover calls at $51 for next Friday. So now I got to survive. It just had another upgrade to it. So target to $58 from 54. So now I got to play around with that. But I got a week to stay below another $1.50 from here. But we're opening up at 49.50. $50 should be a psychological whole number. That is a good price target raise. I also agree. I mean, I think you guys would know. I do agree with the price target raise. I think it is still a growing industry. But let's see. They want to get to $58, which is right around here. So here's a weekly chart. I don't think it's been around enough for the weekly sidebars, and the daily we're kind of past everything at this point. But $50 would be the next psychological whole number. So even today, if it moves 50 cents higher from this pre-market, this is also 1, 2, 3 weeks in a row. Kind of getting bullish. Good consolidation, good break. I do think DraftKings has more upside to it. On a daily basis, it's taking me to about $52, so we'll see. $52, we're somewhere in this range, right? Maybe at 51. So I'm gonna see if I can survive till Friday, next Friday on those covered calls. We'll see what happens. Otherwise, I'll get called away for not all the shares, but a good portion of them. And then I'll have to sell some puts to try to get back in, which I'm okay with. I'll probably try to sell puts a little bit lower. I think Jim Cramer was also pumping them last night too, which 2 weeks ago he was all bearish on it. He's like Super Bowl's over. Why would anybody want to own DraftKings? I don't get it. Well, there's also March Madness, Jim Cramer, and then baseball season, and then trust me, if you have the app, you're gonna be betting on tennis in different countries. You don't even know who you're bet. You're just like, I need to get some action in. Stock market's close. I'm not speaking from experience. This is not my own experience, but somebody that I know with the same name as me is crazy. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, nice little gap on them. So good, almost dollar move, about 90 cents ish. A little bit of a gap, but targets are raised to $58. I do think this is a pretty good gap. Can go higher. Biggest concern for me is $50, a psychological whole number. We'll see. We will see, but that's got good momentum in it. It's had good momentum for quite some time, and people are just catching on, which is pretty funny. We got crowd CRWD, crowd strike. That one looks really good, actually. might be my favorite one so far. Because the other ones I've all run a lot already. This one's still in the container here. This is not bad. Uh I would love a high wave on this one at the open. I think this one's usually a little spready. Pre-market we were spready for sure. I have to see where this one how this one opens, but I think this one's a little bit spready, but otherwise you've been just hugging this moving average. Good consolidation. We are opening above every single VPOC. The only thing that we're not above is this one ginormous candle, which is a monster, just comes in, monster gap, retests, hung out, good consolidation again, and probably targets to 369. We got plenty of room on this thing. We could get caught up here, 338.30. There was a little bit of a wick there, so we've already hit that. Next spot we could get caught up is 341.26. Otherwise, there's not a lot holding us back. It is a retest gap from yesterday. So even as the market kind of slowly crept down, this one hung out. Shows me there's a little bit of bullish sentiment in it. And then today with this continued gap, yeah, depending on where this thing opens, but right here looks good. And a little bit of a high wave. So that one will go on the list. We might try to play that one. INTC. Intel. Again, retest gap, all those moving averages right in front of you on this one. Into this resistance from over here. Again, we'll have to see where this opens. I think this one probably fades at open and then look for maybe a long at 42.04. See if we get a little pullback. Otherwise, stretch goal in this one probably about 43.17. If it can break that, probably 43.52. But I think as soon as you approach this 43.14 zone, we start to get held down a little bit on this one. MRVL. Good double bottom. A tad bit of resistance where we're opening. And this is a retest gap. I think I would look for a fade on this one. Fade at the open. Where's your high volume candles? Crazy move would take us to 76.12. So we'll see what happens. But high wave here. I think this one might pull back. We'll see though. If we could get a close above anywhere above 72.01, might not be horrific. Everybody out YouTube land, that is the morning bell. You guys are incredible. But unfortunately, I have to cut the stream here. I'll catch all you guys tomorrow. One last day of trading. One last day. Be safe.